Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stu here from Spain Speaks with a weekly review video with Johnny. We'll go through some of the things that have caught Johnny's attention here in Spain this week. So let's go to the video. All right, Johnny, how are you this week?
Yeah, good, Stu. Back to work after a week off. Busy week, but tirando, as they say in Spanish.
As they say, that's right, tirando, tirando. All right, good. What's caught your attention this week?
Yeah, so I'm a bit of a Deliveroo, Glovo, Uber Eats fan from time to time. Get the odd takeaway. But there's a new law that's come in that affects the delivery riders from these services. So Yolanda Díaz from the Ministerio de Trabajo has introduced, and the government has approved it. It's going to come into effect in August. So these services, they've now got 3 months to sign up these riders as employees rather than the fake autónomo model that they currently operate by.
Okay, yeah. So what you're talking about, they call it the falso autónomo. Yeah. And it means that companies don't have you on their books, so they save those social security costs, and therefore the employee, being self-employed, has to pay their own social security, has to pay their own expenses and everything, basically, and the company sort of wipes their hands of the employee, right?
Exactly, yeah. And what Yolanda Díaz says, what she wants to do is that because of that, and because also of these algorithms online that can sometimes penalize the riders if there's a problem with the order or whatever, she wants to ensure that they have stability in their work contract. But lawyers, the companies, and even the riders themselves don't like this because it takes away that flexibility. It's going to cost the companies more. And I think I saw today Deliveroo even thinking of they've said they're not afraid to pull out of Spain if the costs become too high for them.
Deliveroo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest, Johnny. When I first started working many years ago, back in the 1980s, I did something similar. I worked as a courier for a while, while I was studying, and I also delivered pizzas. And I mean, I know what these guys are doing. They go to a restaurant, they pick up a pizza, they pick up a meal, they bring it to your home. There's some other systems that are a bit more sophisticated. For example, Glovo is one, the Glovo system, where you can basically order a packet of cigarettes and somebody will bring it to your house if you pay them, But these are businesses where, the Ministry of Trabajo, the work ministry, says that there's exploitation going on in the sector, but sometimes people want flexibility. I don't know, and so there's a debate on both sides.
That's it, yeah. Reading an account from one of the riders in the article that I was reading, I think he does it on top of studying, top of part-time care or another job, and a lot of work contracts still, if you're an employee, they won't let you be employed somewhere else. And if you're employed, then you got a whole load of worker protections that come in. You got there's things that come with your work contract, and it takes away that flexibility that a lot of people have had. And I think it said there's about 15 to 17,000 riders that could be impacted by this, that could affect their livelihood.
Yeah, well, again, I occasionally get the odd delivery, get food delivered home, and these are, a lot of the times they're sometimes they're young people, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's a couple sometimes that come. Both people are in the car. And I had one guy come one time that was actually working for 4 or 5 different apps. He was working for Just Eat, he was working for Deliveroo, he was working for Glovo, and he had all of these different apps coming in. So how are they going to regulate that? Was that also mentioned, if they are working for 4 or 5 different companies?
There was nothing mentioned about that, but I imagine, based on what I said before about how your contract stipulates you maybe can't work for another company under employment, that something like that would no longer be possible under this law as well.
Yeah, okay, good. So I mean, I can see where the central government's coming from. They're trying to, they're trying to get better conditions into a sector which is open to, maybe in some cases people are getting exploited. I don't know, but it's that new economy, and you can see it in cities all around Europe. You can see it in cities all around Spain here now, and again, you'd probably have to interview a couple of the riders, as they call them, to see what their opinion is. Maybe I'll do that next time they come. I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, if these companies do threaten to leave because their business model can't support the cost of having employees, then we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Indeed. It will be a real test of Yolanda Diaz's statement when she says all eyes will be on Spain when it comes to this. Yeah, time will tell, I guess.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be like a landmark type of case, is it? The Spanish decision is going to be one of the first?
I think that's what she's making it out to be. Spain is one of the first ones to bring in regulation like this on such a sector. That's what I got from the article. And she's trying to make a case that, Spain is the first to do this and we're going to be a reference for other countries.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Yeah.
We'll see.
Again, you see it also with Amazon drivers when they come. Sometimes they're people that have probably lost their job somewhere else, and they've got a vehicle that they need to pay for, and Amazon gives them that opportunity to deliver supermarket shopping and other things to people's homes. So the debate's there. Yeah, just depends on which side you want to go on.
It is, yeah.
But they are handy services. You've got the app in your phone. You've got lots and lots of restaurants there. Probably where you are, there's lots of choice, and it is convenient to be sitting at home and just click on a couple of buttons on your phone and away you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think this could also have a knock-on impact on restaurants, because Deliveroo, Glovo has probably saved a lot of restaurants that would have really struggled otherwise through this situation.
Yeah.
So if that option gets taken away for them, then that could be a large amount of revenue that they lose.
Well, again, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of restaurants weren't home delivering before the pandemic, and these companies did give them that option to get a system set up fairly quickly. And I think in the case of Deliveroo and maybe Glovo as well, they even give you the bags to put the food in, and they give you the stickers to seal the bag with. So they I don't know.
I guess it's one we'll have to see how it plays out over time.
We will. But again, with so many people struggling to find jobs, and if this is an opportunity, as I said before, Johnny, I did this back in the day, and I could probably think that the guy that owned the restaurant was exploiting me by only paying me $3 for every pizza that I earned, but I managed to save money, and it gave me the opportunity to travel, and as I said, it was something that I was combining with studying, and for me, I didn't have a problem with it. No.
Yeah, I think it very much depends on your personal situation, isn't it? Someone who's maybe a student and doing delivery on the side, it's going to be a nice help for them. Maybe it will help them economically, but someone who's supporting their family with Deliveroo, for example, it could potentially be a lot tougher for them if this plays out as people fear it might.
I don't know how much a rider or a driver can potentially make, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what cut they get from that service, but I don't know.
The what they earn per delivery or for how long they're working, I'm not sure, but I saw in the article that I read that it could be up to €2,000 a month. So
2,000 that they're making.
I was surprised by it as well, actually, because that's a substantial amount of money.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, well, I suppose if you're in a city like Madrid or another big city, and you're able to get to, like, if you're in a certain area like yours where there's quite a high density of people, you could probably get around fairly quickly to different places, I suppose. Yeah. And sorry.
No, I was just going to say as well. Yeah, and a lot of the riders, they've got they're on mopeds, so it's a lot quicker for them to move around.
Well, that's it. And the other thing is that McDonald's is also, the delivery service that McDonald's has is through these apps. They don't have their own delivery service, and you see McDonald's, being delivered all over the place.
Yeah, and it's the same for Burger King, KFC as well. They're also going through the app. Taco Bell.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's going through those apps. Yeah, so we'll see how this one ends up. But this is going to be the big what's the word? The big policy change that this new minister has done. I think in the first 2 years of her office. Yeah.
And that leads us nicely on to the next topic, which is the autonomous reform, which is under discussion. I think, not sure if it's been approved yet.
No, it's only a plan. Yeah.
Yeah, but this new plan, so obviously at the moment you still pay an autonomo quota, and it starts at €285 per month, and I'm not sure what it goes up to
at the moment.
Yeah. This is the at the moment plan. So it starts at 285, unless you're going through that. If you're a first time, then you can get some discounts.
Yeah.
What they want to do is they want to reduce it to €90 per month at the lower end, and have it up to €1,000 at the top end. But that would be from people who earn €48,000. The thing is, this is going to take 9 years to introduce.
Yeah. So at the moment, 285 I think is the minimum, more or less. And it does go up to the €1,200 mark or something if you're in that top bracket. So basically, for people that don't know how the system works here, when you become self-employed, you have to pay that social security payment. There's no way around it. That's the first thing that you pay every month. It gets deducted out of your account. Doesn't matter how much you earn. So if you earn €1,000, you pay €285, which is 28.5% of that 1,000. And if you earn €5,000 and you choose to pay the minimum amount, which is still that 285, then obviously the percentage comes down according to what you earn. And then you have to put on top of that your taxation as well, which for autonomos, I think at the moment they're billing at between 15 and 20%. So that's on top of that as well. So let's say, for example, you're earning 1,000, you've got your 285 taken out, then you've got your 20% on top of that. So basically that's €485, is it?
Something like that, yeah.
So you're left with not a lot at the end of the month, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this new system, it's supposed to encourage entrepreneurships and help autonomous, but honestly, I struggle to see how it helps. I don't like to be critical, but you got countries like the UK that give you a £1,000 a year tax-free allowance on anything you get from a side hustle or side project. But in Spain, you could earn nothing in a month and you'd still pay that quota, even in this new system.
Well, that's the big dilemma that a lot of self-employed people have, is that they're forced to go off the system. So let's say, for example, English teachers that don't find work in August and July, which is quite common, you either stay on the system and pay those €285, or you go off the system and basically you lose that continuing payment of your social security quotas, and that's the big issue that a lot of people have. And but it's a lot of money every month. I've been paying it for years, and it never gets any easier. No.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. Anyway, so 9-year transition over to this new period. People thinking it's quite a long time, and they're concerned that it should be done a lot quicker. And during those 9 years, then the quota will be reduced to €200 at the lower end. So that applies up to €3,000. And then I think it's for every €3,000 up to €48,000 again that you'll earn, that increases by €15. So then by the time you get to €48,000, you pay €400 per month, which is more advantageous actually than the final proposition that they have. So
yeah. So I think they also said something about they're taking into consideration pre-retirements, that self-employed people would be able to pre-retire by paying these quotas every month. So they're sort of including that pre-retirement option there, right?
Yeah, because I think with this final plan as well, the idea is that they can select which base they want to be taxed on. There's supposed to be 13 different tax bases, and you can change up to 6 times a year based on what you earn. Yeah, I think people are seeing it as a step in the right direction, but the concerns are obviously about how slow it is. And another person is still concerned that, that's still quite a high quota in some cases that you have to pay every month. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure that in the next couple of months, people will be giving their opinions on the situation. But something has to change. Whether this is the perfect change for self-employed people in this country, I don't know. As I always say, time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
Time will tell. All right, good. And what else have we got, Johnny?
So we got about bread from the supermarket versus bread from the panaderia.
What's the difference?
So, yeah, bread in the supermarket, you would expect it, it's just a stick of bread. It's obviously been done industrially, batch made and shipped out to the supermarket, whereas, in a panaderia, it's more like homemade, con cariño kind of bread, you could say. But the supermarkets are eating up the market share of the traditional bread industry. They're currently at 44%.
Well, I think the reason for that is, and again, I'm not an expert on bread, but the supermarket chains and a lot of bakeries nowadays, I'm not going to say every bakery because there still are the typical, homemade bread bakery where the baker gets up early in the morning and he kneads the dough and he does all of these things. But a lot of bakeries in recent years have also been going to the pre-made bread model where they buy the bread in from a factory, they stick it in an oven for 30 minutes and bang, your bread's ready, right? So I've noticed that here where I live. In fact, all of the local bakeries have shut down because that was the model that they had. I don't think they were putting in the what's the word, artisan quality bread, that you might get in some of the boutique areas in Madrid where they're still, as I said, kneading the bread and waking up early in the morning. But it's really gone into this industrial area, and a lot of people don't care that, for a loaf of bread that they're going to be having every day just to accompany their meal, to mop up the sauce, they don't really care, I don't think, so.
Yeah, well, that's what this article is supposedly saying as well. Supermarkets at the same time as increasing their quality of bread because they have supposedly stepped it up again. It's convenient. You can just pick it up while you're going to the supermarket. During times of pandemic particularly, that's an easy option. And if you think as well, but this is my personal opinion, if I was to go and get something like a homemade bread, it would probably be for a very special occasion, maybe a dinner at home. That's obviously not really been possible throughout pandemic times as well, so that could also be a contributing factor.
Yeah. Do you eat your meals with bread?
Sometimes if I think to go and buy it at the shop, then I will have it. I went to the supermarket earlier this week and got a stick of bread, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I get it from the supermarket.
Yeah, I don't normally, no. I mean, if I go to a restaurant and of course you get your little piece of bread with your meal, sometimes I'll eat a bit of bread, but I'm not the type of guy that needs to go to the supermarket every day like the typical Spaniard and buy the loaf of bread, which is part of the daily routine, because every meal has to be served with bread. A lot of the times, my girlfriend's parents, every meal is served with bread, especially lunch. Yeah. If there's no bread on the table, lunch is not happening, Whereas when I grew up, in Australia, we don't have a bread culture, or we didn't when I grew up. It was a slice of sandwich bread with a bit of butter if you were lucky, and that was it. Obviously, that's changed today. You've got French bread, Italian bread, etc. But when I was growing up, there wasn't a bread culture, so I'm not really a bread guy at meal times. No.
Yeah, I do really like bread with my meals, but
I like bread, but I just don't have that.
Well, yes, somewhat similar for me. Like I do really enjoy a good baguette with a meal, but I'm a bit lazy when I go to the supermarket. Sometimes I want to, 40 cents, 50 cents, whatever it is. It's not a great saving, but I don't always see it as a necessity when I go to the supermarket. Yeah.
And I think you're right on that point that you said before, that the quality of bread in the supermarkets is getting better. The supermarket that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, Mercadona, their bread is not bad. I think if you go to another one here in Madrid called Al Ramas, I don't know if they've got them in the centre of Madrid, but their bread's okay as well. So, it is getting better.
Yeah, and I think Carrefour has even started sourcing locally.
Oh, right. Well,
yeah, for their bread as well.
I have noticed Carrefour also has good quality bread nowadays. Yeah, that's it. So bread is improving for those bread lovers out there, but sandwich bread is not.
Oh yeah, sandwich bread. Yeah, it's staying the same. It reminds me of back in England when I'd have the old sandwich from time to time.
Yeah, but do you think sandwich bread in the UK is better than the quality of the sandwich bread here?
I don't know. I don't think. I think it's probably similar actually, unless you go for like the higher range, like Warburtons or something like that in the UK. Then yeah, because sliced bread, it's a very British thing, and a decent slice of bread maybe beats a slice of bread here, but sliced bread, it's not really a thing in the rest of Europe. It's more baguettes, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean,
experience.
But I mean, the sandwich bread in the UK is it's better quality than that pan bimbo that they have here, though, right?
Supposedly, yeah.
Oh, you don't think so?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's maybe one of the food items where the UK wins compared to the rest of Europe, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think I don't want to, talk too much about food, but I think the UK has some good products. I think there's some good products in England, for example. Cheeses are good, Johnny, I find.
I'm not a cheese person.
Oh, there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Sausages as well. I think you can get better quality sausages. I think, yeah, but that's just my opinion, of course. But I've always noticed that for a sandwich bread, it seems to be better quality in Australia, for example, than the sandwich bread you can here. I haven't been able to find good quality sandwich bread to have a good sandwich. No.
Yeah, I mean the same. I find sandwich bread in the UK is probably better. Not that I eat that many sandwiches, so this is from limited experience. But yeah, I think when it comes to baguettes, then yeah, Spain, France, Germany win it by a mile.
Well, of course, yeah, because that's their specialty. That's right when it comes to baguettes. But anyway, all right, Johnny, we'll start to wrap it up on the topic of bread. If anybody knows a good place to buy sandwich bread here that's not frozen, let us know in the comment section. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap it up, Johnny. Have a good one.
You too, Stu.
See you later. Bye-bye. So there we go. That was the weekly review video. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Debate the situation out as you normally do. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.